kind of amazing, isn't it? That Canon can bring out a new camera almost a year after this Canon M50. They can bring out the Canon RP and make it worse than the Canon M50 when it comes to shooting in 4K. Now if you've seen the specs, they look really similar on paper. Both shoot in 23.98 frames per second, effectively 24 frames per second in 4K. They're both at 120 megabits per second and they're shooting in 8-bit. So it seems on the surface they would be the same. Oh, and they also both have the appallingly bad contrast detection autofocus. That means with this Canon M50, I never use autofocus. And so if I got a Canon RP, I wouldn't use autofocus on that either when I shoot in 4K. On paper, it might seem like the Canon RP would be better than the Canon M50 for shooting in 4K because the Canon RP has less of a crop factor than the Canon M50 when shooting in 4K. But here's the thing, if you've seen my previous video, you know that the crop factor, that additional crop factor on the Canon M50 is a massive advantage when it comes to shooting in focus. I'm in focus right now, everything behind me is in focus, and we might not be able to get that situation if we use the Canon RP because a lens that was narrower, which it would need to be with less of a crop factor, a lens that is narrower has a shorter depth of field, so less is in focus with a narrower angle lens. So what does all this mean? Well, if you watch other YouTube videos, you know that people are bagging out the Canon RP because it shoots in 30 frames a second and not 24 frames per second. So everyone's saying, well, Canon's crippled this camera when it comes to shooting in 1080p, but they've also unintentionally crippled it when it comes to shooting in 4K. So my recommendation is stick with the Canon M50, stick with this lens on the Canon M50, and you'll be in focus and you'll get better results than are possible with the Canon RP. If you want to know more about this lens and camera combination, check out the link in the description below. No one else has really picked up on this lens and camera combination. It is fantastic. Check it out. Bye now.